website, Sunday Custom Coaching, July 26th, Syracuse Sweat Club. We're gonna, for this workout, you're gonna probably want a jug of milk, a jug of water, a jug of detergent. That would work better if you don't have dumbbells. So dumbbells are fine, but the pack is sometimes a little awkward. Okay, so durability, 3 rounds, 30 seconds each. If you have the Smart WOD timer, it's every 30 seconds for 7.5 minutes. So a nice running timer works better. Okay, so we're gonna do a hollow tuck hold. So on your back, I'm gonna pull my knees into my chest and my head towards my knees. I'm reaching sort of like towards my feet, but beyond my feet. And then as always, try to drive your knees up into your face as opposed to letting them just be there and tucking with your upper body. Make sure that lower body is also involved, okay? In order to do that, I just said it, driving your knees towards your face. So hollow tuck hold, then back scales on the right, back scales on the left with a squat. So if you're reading it, you do see a squat there. So we did back scales last week, so it's just this. When you do your back scale, bent standing leg is gonna be easier. So it doesn't matter really if this leg is straight or bent. You know, a gymnast would like a yoga teacher would both say it has to be straight, but if your hamstrings are tight, it's gonna be bent. And if your balance is poor, that leg being bent helps activate some muscles. So for this position, like I said, if you're having trouble with your balance, balancing a little bit is helpful in keeping it bent. And then we're actually gonna do a squat. So I'm gonna bend that leg anyway and re-straighten it. So it's only gonna go as straight as your hamstrings will allow. In the back scale, this is be the fault. So allowing yourself to look kind of like a wet noodle or drooping leaves. I wanna make sure that my chest is really tall and my back leg is lifted, and then performing a little bit of a squat. You are going knee over the toe, so unless you have a knee issue, this shouldn't bother you. We're going slow and controlled, so even if you did have something, it should not be an issue, but just know that that's gonna happen. So you'll do the left for 30 seconds, then you'll switch legs, do squats on the other leg for 30 seconds, and then you're gonna do a single leg lateral lean. So we sometimes forget this position, but I'm just gonna stand on one leg and lean over to the side. So my upper body and my leg are staying as a unit. My standing leg is bent, right? And I'm just kind of going over. It's dependent on your hip, how far over you're gonna go, right? You're gonna do 30 seconds on that leg, 30 seconds on the other leg, so I'm just bending over and coming back. This is really good for, I would say, New York weather. So I know it's hot as balls outside right now, but in the wintertime, we slip and we fall, and we usually slip in some like back lateral movement where we're landing on our side or on our back. And so that ability to catch your balance is really important. Okay, so you're gonna do 3 rounds of that. That's your durability. The actual workout was 3 rounds of 20 reps each. So the first movement, I'm gonna do a single arm sit-up. So one arm sit-up. I'm gonna take the dumbbell overhead, okay? I'm literally just going to sit up and back down. Okay, that's one way to do it. A second way would be to bend the same leg that has the dumbbell and move to the side. So sort of like a get up, sit up. I sort of end in the same position. This leg is just out straight. And then I go back down. So I can roll over onto my shoulder and then sit up really sideways and then come up. Or it might be sort of a blend of that where it's a little smoother, or you might just sit up straight. I'm giving you this option because if you have a really mobile back, we can round it really well, which could be a good or a bad thing. It's easy to do that sit-up. If you don't have a really mobile back, it's hard to do a sit-up. You almost need those leverage of putting something on top of your feet. And so this is like a half a get-up sit-up, right? So half of the Turkish get-up. So the same knee is up with the dumbbell. I'm gonna rock over to my shoulder, and then my elbow, and then my hand, and then back down. Okay, you're gonna do 10 of those on that side, and then simply switch sides, do 10 on the other side. And then I'm gonna come up to a half kneel and go back to my first arm. So a half kneel means that I'm in a 90-90 position. My ankle is below my knee, and my knee is below this hip, okay? And I'm gonna push myself out to the side. So I'll show you with my hand first. So I'm gonna hinge over to the side and put my hand down. I'm looking at the dumbbell, which is just helpful to see where it is. Some people are hypermobile and it goes way too far back, and some people let it drop and move around. So I'm looking at it, and then I'm gonna come back up. All right, I'll show you from this way. So I'm going over to the side. My hand is going directly to the side, and my hip is pushing over to the side, okay? So I'm making some space by moving over, okay? Nothing's changing in my midline. Again, I'll show you this way, okay? Another way of doing that is not putting your hand down. So holding yourself up, sort of like we do windmills. When we're standing, we don't actually put our hand on the floor. I'm just gonna switch sides because my arm is on fire, okay? So pushing my hips over to the side. I'm looking at the dumbbell. My palm is now facing forward, which just feels really nice. And then when I come back upright, my palm faces my head. Palm facing forward, palm facing my head. Okay? Really do think about pushing your hip over to the side. That's gonna make this whole movement possible. So we're gonna do 1, 2, right, 10 on one side, 10 on the other. So that's your 20 total. And then I'm gonna do 20 lunges with a clean. So a clean, a bicep curl, a CrossFit curl, whatever you wanna call it. Again, jugs, so 2 water bottles versus your pack will work better for today. So stepping back for a lunge, clean, lunge, clean. 2 ways you can do this. You can bring the weights down with your lunge. That's one way. Or you can bring the weights down and then step back. What this does, it just makes you come up a little more quickly. And again, it can be more of like a bicep curl and slow, or it can be more of a clean where the elbows go out to the side and then flip around. I have it up all the way. You might just bring it to here. I like this because I feel like it's a resting position, and a clean for me should be a resting posture, but you for sure can just hold it in the front rack. So just bringing it from hanging to your shoulders is basically the movement, all right? So you're gonna do 20 lunges total. So stepping back, alternating left and right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Then I'm gonna do a single leg balance with just a bicep curl. So I don't normally do like actual bicep curls. So standing on one leg, I'm gonna actually turn my palms all the way out and do a bicep curl just standing on one leg. So 10 on that leg, 10 curls on this leg, just sort of fatiguing the bicep that you just did, and then also getting some balance in there. As soon as you go to a single leg, my glute turns on the standing leg, so everything stays a bit more rigid, which is actually really good for your posture. We look at it as a very simple position, but my body keeping me upright, my erectors holding me up. I don't know about you, but if you're spying on me, I'm usually standing very poorly. So just an opportunity to keep yourself lifted. So that is your actual WOD for July 26th. I will see you guys on Sugar WOD. Namaste.